You're listening to the Curators Salon. I'm Geeta Joshi, and my guest today is the amazing Sara Shakeel. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you, Geeta. Thank you for
So
having
here
me.
we are at the Now Gallery in preparation for your exhibition opening on the 14th of May. How is that going?
Stressful. A lot of crystals and a lot of stuff that needs to be done. I'm glad that we are done with the basics, that is the chair and the table. But we've got, a few food items and the plates left that needs to be crystallized and all blinged up. And yeah, so still in the process. Hopefully it's going to happen.
All ready for opening night soon. I wanted us to start with how you came into artwork, because I know this isn't something you've been doing for a very long time. And I think it's a really interesting story. Do you want to start there?
Just 2.5, almost 3 years ago now, it's going to be 3 in September, I started off as a dentist. In fact, I started off as a bachelor's, doing my bachelor's in business administration, but that was just for 2 years. And then I did my dentistry, and when I was in my final year of dentistry, my teacher failed me 16 times. In fact, it was more than 16, but it was 2 years straight. She repeatedly failed me. And then from there onwards, I just liked the whole concept of copy, cut, and paste, because I had nothing else to do. No recreation of anything or of that sort. I was not in the mood of meeting anyone. The questions, oh, what are you going to do? Oh, give your exams again. You don't need to quit and stuff. But yeah, I think I made the best decision of my life to make art and create, and here I am today.
So you started off, because you were saying earlier that, when you were failing your dentistry exams, it was just quite an unhappy time, really.
Actually, if you even look at my art back in the days in 2017, end of 2016, early 2017, that art was dark. It was a little dark. It had a little darker essence to it. But though it made me happy, but the whole negativity was brought out into the art. But yeah, it was a crazy time back in the days, because people were asking me questions that, Sara, why aren't you giving your exam anymore? I did not know how to explain that to them. And I used to, take out all of my frustration through the tiny pieces of collage art I used to do at that time. But then, one step at a time, my art went crazy. Like, it was people sharing, tagging. In fact, Sarah Jessica Parker commented on one of my pictures, and she was like, she was so nice. She was not that, oh, that's a beautiful picture. She, in fact, gave me a tiny prayer that I hope that you become one of the most amazing artists and everyone recognizes your beautiful crystal work. And yeah, so that was my first celebrity experience. Sarah Jessica Parker, I am crazy for Sex and the City. Yeah, that was me. That was fueling my energy, that, okay, this is something. It was, besides all of that, Geeta, it was making me really happy. It was making me come to a place which was, it was more than money, more than fame. It was me being content with what I was doing. And that eventually reflected into me traveling the world, people wanting to meet me, wanting to see my art, and yeah.
It all starts with sharing, doesn't it? And I think what's really interesting about yours is that you did start it through sharing the journey. You haven't come to it with a full body of work. You could see the evolution as we go through your feed.
And that's how I would want to be. That's how we humans are. No one comes with a gift, given to them from the very first day. You need to, some recognize it in the early stages, some take 20 years, 30 years. But that doesn't mean that you just, if it's not coming, you just stop and not do anything. So it's what you are, and you need to accept that we humans are meant to experiment. If something doesn't work, just like mine, it didn't work for me as being a dentist. So what? I would have been a great dentist. I would always say that, but it didn't work. So what? Let's try this. And I know that if this doesn't work, I know myself. I'm not that person who would just sit and cry and say, oh, what's happening? I'm like, let's do something else. Let's figure out something else.
Yeah. So at the beginning you were doing more digital cut and paste, and then how has that evolved into the crystals?
So, I mean, initially, all I knew was, there's a tool where you just put your stylus pen around it and then it cuts and you can put anywhere you want to. So I like that. That was very creative for me to put a cat's head on a man's body, or, put flowers on a man's face and eyes. And with time, I realized that there are many other Salvador Dali and these artists have done that before. And I was like, wow, so this is a thing too. I mean, Picasso was the first artist who coined collage. And then I started learning what collages are, and then I learned, okay, so this is a real thing. It not digital, but in reality people cut paste, but I didn't have the patience to do that. I was like, I was more into digital work, and I liked that. And then one day someone commented that, Sara, this is the worst Photoshop ever. And I was like, what is Photoshop? And I mean, it's so surprising for me because, I mean, looking at who I am as a person, people usually get unhappy with such comments. And I was like, what is Photoshop? And I Googled it and I learned through YouTube. I was like going crazy with it. And then after 1 year, Photoshop, official page of Photoshop, they messaged me saying that, Sara, we love your work and we want to feature you for our 1 million followers. We want to celebrate with you for our 1 million followers on all social media platforms. So I was like, okay, that's crazy. That's amazing. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I never imagined that Photoshop would ever come to me, but maybe it was the hard work and then me just being crazy with, collage that brought them to me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is Photoshop to then Photoshop following you?
Yeah, I mean, I still get that a lot, but that's maybe who I am. I am a raw artist. I don't need to be. That's what Vincent went through his time. He was being compared with huge artists like Michelangelo and Raphael. And I went through his story and it breaks my heart. He was mocked for his big, bulky brush strokes and everything. And they said, oh, what kind of art is that? But today it is the most replicated art in the world. So you just never know what your work, how it creates a different feeling for someone else. You just never know.
I think that's what's really good about social media, though. You can always now find the people that do appreciate that as well.
It is, if you need to be very strong for that, Geeta. I get a lot of hate. I get a lot of hate. I get a lot of good stuff too, no doubt about that. But then again, I get that part, and you need to have a very thick skin for social media. You need to be very positive. I believe that the amount of depression people are having these days, I kind of say that it is cause of social media and the internet, and you there's no filter. It's in front of you, and people would say anything because they know at the end of the day they're behind the phone. No one is going to confront them. So they can say whatever they want to say. So yes, you need to have very thick skin. I come across a lot of weird messages and people saying that, oh, you're from Pakistan and stuff, and what are you promoting? Oh, you being Muslim. There's lots of things and things that I was not expecting. But then you know what? At the end of the day, I know my game. I know what I am. I'm very happy with what I am. If I would have been doing it for people, I would have collapsed long time ago. But I'm doing it for myself every day. And maybe that's the reason why I'm still upright. And when I started art itself, It was not for anyone. It was 100% for me, 200% for me, because it was acting like a medicine for what I was going through back in the days. And I had no intentions of making money. I had no intentions of being famous. Honestly speaking, up till now, when something of the sort happens, I pinch myself many times. Really, is this happening? So, but then, with time, people started messaging me saying that, Sara, all thanks to you, we started, doing what we like. Some started off being artists. Some wanted to be a nurse technician or whatever they wanted to be, a doctor or whatever. And they're like, because of you, because you followed your passion. Because I always write tiny notes under my pictures, always. It's whatever I want to, I'm thinking, I just, write. And they're like, Sara, thank you for, letting us know that you can pursue your passion no matter where you're from, no matter what you do. So then I was like, so each picture heals a part of me, and I hope it heals a part of you too. It's not just me anymore. It's a lot of people involved in my art.
I love that quote, though. I think it's such a nice one. I think it really resonates as well. I think, there's something just so powerful in that it's actually coming from like a raw creative energy that, helps you, actually channel the work that you're then bringing into the world as well.
Yeah, my art is just not me, Geeta. It's made up of a lot of stories. It's made up of a lot of people that I've met through social media, in reality. A very powerful imagination. I swear, if it would have been an Olympics match, I would have won many gold medals with my imagination. And Geeta, a lot of people still message me saying that, how do you survive on this art? Like, how are you doing it? And in Pakistan, it's like so surprising that what is she doing? How is this possible? In fact, my dad at first was so confused. What is going on? Like, she stays in a room all the time. The initial times were the times where they were confused. They were like, okay, so she has a lot of followers, but what is followers? Do you understand? But then from that, making a full-time living out of it is not what most artists do these days. In fact, they study from huge institutions just to come to that point where they can, make a living out of it. But I started all of that through social media, and to a point that I gifted my dad a car. And a few months ago, I really wanted to buy it for myself, but I was like, my dad, my parents deserve it. I flew my mom here. I was like, this is you guys, because when I was doing my dentistry, they gave everything so that me and my brother could be something. Just 4 years ago, Geeta, we were in a very crucial financial stages. And I'm very proud to witness that, because that tells you who you are and where you've come from and what you've seen. So now when I give it to them, they're like, their parents at the end of the day, they're so happy. And my mom was like, the apartment that I'm living in, it's like such a beautiful view where you get to see the whole of London, and it's just like, the windows are just like this, and it's on the 22nd floor. And she's just looking, and she's like, Sara, wow, art gave you this. This is amazing.
It can be done.
Absolutely. In our society, we've always said, being a doctor is big. Oh, wow. The wow factor? No. Whatever you're good at, you just have no idea what you can come up with. Just liking something. I love coffee. And I'm always thinking, what can I do with coffee, Because I love it.
Yeah.
I'm in love with it. So, yeah.
But it's about finding that joy as well. I think that, people get very distracted very quickly, and it's like tapping back into, purpose and finding that joy again in the things that you're doing.
First, you need to fall in love with yourself. When you fall in love with yourself, because you are living in yourself, this is what you are. And the day you appreciate your living every day, that you woke up with a good life, not a good life maybe, but a healthy body, you can walk, you can talk, you can breathe. I mean, like I said, I come from a medical background. I know what problems exist. Physically, people have some problems, they can't do stuff. But then, if you love yourself and if you know who you are, you're a soldier. You can do anything you want to at the end of the day. But you need to be happy and content with your own life first. That's why you see so many people on the road, but they're so happy and they're so content. If you go into subcontinent area in Pakistan and India, people living in a small room are so happy and content. And I'm sure if you give them a little push, they will conquer the world because they're happy and they're like, we're happy with what we have. It's not about not being ambitious. Some people are happy that way. So you can't say that, oh, he's not being ambitious or no. That is what he wanted. And to achieve internal satisfaction in this world, it's not an easy thing. Everyone is trying to please someone, trying to be someone, trying to be famous. When you sit back home, are you content? Not everyone can say that.
Yeah, it's big questions.
So that's how my quotation. Each picture heals a part of me, and I hope it heals a part. It's a part of me being spiritual and a religious person, and my work too at the same time. So the part where the crystals come in.
Tell me, let's go back to, the digital crystals.
Yeah, so the crystals part is a little crazy. So what happened was I came across a pattern of faucets and how a crystal is cut into different. So I came up with that and I put it in different images, just a tissue roll. I don't know if you've seen my work where there's a tissue roll with crystal on it. And there was this person commenting, Marcus, saying that, Sara, you're so inspirational. And I was like, I never go through my comments, but that was like, maybe it was meant to be or something like that. I was like, who is this Marcus? And this more I went into his profile, it was Zorowski. It was written Marcus Lang Zorowski. And I was like, Zorowski, because I am in love with Zorowski since the day I laid my eyes on, since the day I was born. My family is obsessed with Zorowski. So I was like, what? Zorowski is a company. How can he have a name ending with Zorowski? And then I was like, I messaged him. Listen, you are great. You are the person, my reason for crystals and the patterns and everything. And then he was like, Sara, we love your work here, and I'm truly inspired by, the Zorowski guy is saying, I'm truly inspired by your work. And I was like, thank you so much. And that faded. Then he messaged me saying that he wanted me to create an artwork, a digital artwork for his Daniel Zorowski. I don't know if you know about Daniel Zorowski. He was the founder of Zorowski.
Okay.
So they've made this club in Wattens, Austria, where this people come and eat in the tiny. It's like a Zorowski club. It's very modern like this. It's very open, spacious, but with tiny Zorowski crystals here and there. It's very modern and minimalist at the same time. And he was like, Sara, we're going to have DJ night every Thursday, so I want you to create a poster out of Daniel. And I was like, Daniel? Like the man who made it? So I did that. He really loved it. And then, I was happy I did that. And then after, I think a few months later, he messaged, Sara, I want to invite you to Austria. Can you come? And for 4 days, it's on me. I want to show you how, everything is made. And I was like, you really like my work. So he invited me over, and it was fabulous, Geeta. It was just, the first day I went, I met him, I saw the archives, and then, the second day I went to the place where they have a lot of innovators and the ones who are making 3D innovations. They've got this separate place. It's a huge deal. It's not just Swarovski. It's like they make glass lens, optical glass lens.
Yeah.
They make cutting tools. They have different industry for that. Then they have things that they make for couture. It's more like for movies back from 1906, from Versace to Dolce & Gabbana and Dior. Then they showed me around that Daniel Swarovski's, old images and the logo of Swarovski, what it was before, what became, and he was actually an engineer, an electrical engineer, and he selected this torn, worn, house, and he was like, let me start from here. And because he was an engineer, so there was a water passing by. So he was like, let's put a turbine so that because there were no lights over there at that time. So he made his own generator through the water. So Swarovski generates its own electricity.
Still to this day?
Still to this day.
That's incredible.
So Marcus himself is such a humble person. I mean, it's not funny, Geeta. He's not, if you look at him and his wife, I didn't get to meet his wife, but when I came back to Pakistan, I got flowers from, I got a message that, this is Julia wants to give you something. I was like, who's Julia? And then the flowers were first so beautiful, and then I looked and I was like, oh my God, that's Marcus' wife. I got gifts for the family and everything, and he was like, it's amazing, it's amazing how a man with so much power and so much going on is so humble and so giving at the same time. He brought me, he showed me around. Who does that? So yeah, that was a great experience.
When did that happen?
That happened last year in July.
And are you doing other collaborations with them?
Not now, but he comments on my pictures all the time. And because there are two, there's one Nadia Swarovski, I don't know if you know her. She's more into the fashion side, and he's more into creating the crystals.
Okay.
So I was first a digital artist. Do you get it? Mm-hmm. Now I'm molding myself into a real. I will be needing him now. Do you get it? Because at first it was very nice of him to bring me and show me around, but at the end of the day, I'm a digital artist. Now is the part where I'm molding myself into getting real crystals, working with them, which one looks better, which doesn't, studying everything. So yeah, that's where,
things might evolve.
Maybe. Besides everything, work or no work, he's there supporting me. Who gets that? I go to every shop and I'm looking and I'm like, Marcus? He's always commenting whenever and his wife too. Amazing people, humble.
So nice. So let's talk about a bit how you moved into the sculptural side. You were telling me about the story about the egg.
It was just an accident I did. It was more of me getting bored of what I was doing. And I was like, let's create something different, just for my own sake, not to prove anyone. Most of my successful works, I've done for my own self. And they've been interpreted to be crazy for a lot of people. Because at that time, I didn't have the Swarovski crystals. So I just took, in Pakistan and India, as you know, that there's a lot of crystals and laces and stuff. So I was like, let's get a few of the crystal samples. I took an egg, froze it, because you need to, it's a technique where I took a bottle and sucked the yolk in and then putting it very consciously and, decorated with the crystals and put glue. It was the most amateur work one could ever do because I had no idea what works for what. And I took a picture and I posted it on Instagram. Nothing big about it. It was just a lot of people message, is this real? Is this real? And I'm like, yes, for the first time, this is real. while I was creating the egg, I was just imagining that what if someone really asks me to, create a whole table made out of food, out of crystals? Wouldn't that be such a breakthrough, in the sculpture world? And then I just hushed myself. I was like, Sara, that's not going to happen. You have no artistic experience in sculpture, because these things, experienced people do that. And then after posting the picture and going viral, Kaya messaged me, emailing me, Sara, we like your work. And the best part was, she didn't even know. She was like, I like your work. That's all I know. Can you tell me, what can you propose? And I was like, oh, that's a wonderful idea. Can I propose it to you? And yeah, I mean, that's where things came into being. And now I'm confident that I can make sculptures.
Incredible.
And I have amazing ideas now. Like, yeah.
So that, you were telling me, happened at the end of last year, like November, December.
Yes, it was a process. Because she gave me first a few weeks that what do you have in mind? I gave a little introduction that this is what I want. They called me, I was on speaker, and I gave my idea, and then she was like, okay, Sara, so now I want to know, how can you present it for us as a proper proposal? And then she was like, do whatever you want to. At the end of the day, we are up for it. But the more practical you get, the more easier it is for us to understand, because I knew that I've never done this before, and I need to grab this opportunity. So I was like full on, rendered a 3D image, made a presentation, wrote everything, that what is needed, what is not needed, and I presented it to them along with everything, the budget, and I mean, it was just everything. So I was like, it's either a yes or a no. Either I'm going to make it as a sculptor or I won't. And yeah, they said that they're going to take a few days. They just messaged me at night and they were like, congratulations, you're in.
Wow, amazing. So because obviously I know that you've been in London for a month ahead of the opening of the exhibition.
Yeah.
How much work did you do beforehand? I mean, what was that like?
No, so I didn't do anything beforehand. I started everything here because I couldn't bring stuff from Pakistan except for the crystals. They are from Pakistan. I wanted to put Swarovski crystals, but unfortunately Swarovski, the types of crystals I was looking for, and they had a lot of variety because I knew I went there and everything. So I was like, okay, we don't have time. I don't have time to select through that, and it was a process. So I was like, listen, let me get the ones from Pakistan, the ones that I'm comfortable with right now, but let's go on with this. So yeah, I brought crystals from Pakistan and I made it all here.
And you had it all mocked up and everything,
yes.
to go?
So I ordered the table from here, the chairs, everything. I told Kaya that these are the things that I would be needing. And then, improvised, because there are certain types of glues that don't work, and then, you experiment and play around. So yeah.
And then Kaya also arranged for you to have a team here, because obviously,
absolutely,
it's more than a one-person job.
Oh yes.
How's that working out?
Oh, I swear to God, if it wouldn't have been my arts assistant, it would have taken 5 to 6 months to make what I did. I think I should apply for Guinness Book of World Record, because this is, I know a lot of artists who work with crystals, and they take a lot of time to make all of that, because they put one each, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. But I did it within 20 days, and I think I should apply for Guinness Book of World. It's like from 9:30 to 6, you're working on crystals and applying. So if you look at my work, which you will hopefully, not a single place is left without a crystal.
Wow.
Yeah, so
it'd be amazing.
Yeah, so it's a lot of hard work. I am the slowest of all. Let me be honest. My technicians are superhuman beings and they're really good. And it's surprising because they've never worked with crystals before.
Oh, really?
Yes, they've never worked. So I told them, this is what you have to do. And they got it, the hand of it. But I'm the slower and the more, precision, taking time, which comes naturally to me because I'm so involved in it, but the others are not. Do you understand? Like when I'm creating, I'm imagining a lot of stuff. What's going to happen? How should I put it? Because this is my baby at the end of the day. But which is a good thing for the technicians because they're just wrapping it, so they're faster because they've nothing in mind. So they just let's do this, and that's about it. So it's a good thing, in fact.
I'm really looking forward to seeing this exhibition.
Oh, it's going to be crazy.
Let's talk about a couple of other things around that particular installation, though. One is that you've chosen to go all white with everything.
Yes.
And that, you describe it in your words.
So basically, the whole concept was to get involved in my art installation. It was like, up till now, all the installations that have been put with crystals have been very true to colors and whatever the background is. But I wanted people to get involved with it. The more closer they got into it, the more trippier it got and the more psychedelic it got, because when you look from far away, it's just a sparkling piece of beautiful table and chair. But the more closer you get, the more stuff you see. Oh, there's a chicken, there's a burger, there are chips, and I won't tell more stuff, but there's lots and lots of food items. So I wanted that sense of involvement, the sense of creating inquisitive, what's going on? What is this? And on top of that, this is what my people here, the ones who've seen it, they're like, we have a constant smile on our face. The second we look at it, we're just smiling. And it's so magical. It's like a fairy godmother just came and put her magic on it and it's sparkling. So it gives you that happiness feeling too. It's very therapeutic, in a good way. Like, a psychedelic and trippy way too, but makes you happy, keeps you constantly smiling.
Wow, it's going to be exciting. The exhibition runs at the Now Gallery at Greenwich Peninsula from the 14th of May to the 23rd of June.
Absolutely.
What else have you got coming up?
So I am because all thanks to this exhibition, I am now very confident of creating real life crystal stuff. I'm in talks with a lot of companies creating my own product maybe or something like that. Something that I would want people not just to keep it somewhere, but to use it on an everyday basis, to be a part of it. So yeah, you just never know. Maybe a clothing line, maybe a makeup product. You just never know. I can go crazy. Yeah, so hopefully.
And Sara, where can people find you online?
So I am on Instagram at Sara Shakeel, SaraShakeel. Yeah, on Facebook, on Twitter. Just write my name in Google and you'll just find me.
I will add all the links into the show notes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the Curators Salon podcast. It's been amazing spending time with you, and I'm really looking forward to the opening of the exhibition as well.
Thank you, Geeta. Thank you. It was lovely having you. Thank you.
The Curators Salon hopes you enjoyed this production.